Okay, nerds, we've got so much to do and not a whole lot of time to do it, so I am Dustin, this is Generally Nerdy, the show is your weekend Nerdom, let's hit the news. No real housekeeping, just gonna jump right into it because like I said, not a whole lot of time to jump right into it. So we got one thing in music and then we're gonna be moving on rather quickly. So music, we have a quasi announcement because it's confirmation, but it's not 100% announced, but it's a weird thing. Meshuggah is doing a thing. They are currently working apparently on a new record, which isn't that much of a surprise because, quarantine, so everybody's working on new music, but Meshuggah was supposed to do a bunch of festival dates this year before they went into the writing process. Well, with everything getting shut down, they had to move those dates back, and the indeterminate dates are now being settled on by the festival promoters, and they have basically canceled all of their festival dates that were supposed to be continuations from this year, moved into next year, because they are in the process of writing a new record. This might be one of the fastest turnarounds for Meshuggah I think we've ever seen, and I'm super excited about that. Not that it's that fast of a turnaround, because the Violent Sleep of Reason came out in 2016, so 4 years isn't exactly fast, but I feel like Obzen was Kolos rather, was much longer before we got Violent Sleep. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but that's all we've got for music news, guys. Now we are talking about the TV streaming news, and I'm gonna do my announcer voice. No, I'm not gonna do the announcer voice because I might hurt myself, and that wouldn't be fun. No, I wouldn't hurt myself. It's just annoying. All right, so first up, we have a couple of follow-ups to do. Honestly, each of the sections today is going to have a new portion of the section, and that's because Comic-Con at Home is happening. So we're going to do follow-ups, and then we're going to get into relevant things that happened up through last night for Comic-Con at Home. I obviously have not been able to get a whole lot of stuff from Comic-Con at Home today, but we will talk about everything today, tomorrow, and Sunday on Tuesday's episode. So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, we're starting with follow-ups. And in follow-ups, we have one thing for WandaVision. The official announcement has come out that they are tentatively still on track for their regular release date. Even though Falcon and Winter Soldier got delayed, WandaVision apparently is further along in production, so they were able to get done what needed to get done. So presumably, we will be seeing WandaVision in some form by the end of the year. So, awesome there. And the other follow-up we have is on Sweet Tooth, the Jeff Lemire comic book that is being adapted for Netflix. Sorry, I had to double-check the notes. Lemire has seen the pilot episode and is super excited about the direction that they're going with the show, which is only a good thing because Lemire is a fantastic comic book writer. So if he's signing off on the adaptation of his creation, then hopefully that's a good sign. I don't know. With the current way things go with comic book adaptations, it could be an amazing sign, or it could be false hope. We're gonna move on now into some Comic-Con at Home stuff. Comic-Con at Home, we got up through last night, so Thursday night. Started on Wednesday. We have The Boys sneak peek trailer. You can check the links in the show description to see all of these things. So we got the sneak peek for The Boys season 3. Going up against The Deep. Yes, we're going to be doing some reaction stuff. I have not watched any of these trailers. I'm going to try and get some reactions done for the YouTube channel. Hopefully in the next 2 days because, relevancy and such. So we have The Boys. We have Archer season 11 trailer. Yes, please. And we also have Star Trek Lower Decks first scene of the first episode. I have it noted as a trailer in the notes, but I'm pretty sure it's actually the first scene of the first episode. It's been like playing as an ad on YouTube for the last week, or the last few days at the very least, so I've been trying to avoid it in case I do a reaction video for it, but it's going to be a difficult one to avoid. But that is what we have for Comic-Con at Home that is relevant to TV and streaming. So now we're going into our only piece of actual news, and that has to do with the Child's Play franchise. If you remember, Sci-Fi just announced that it will also be airing on the USA Network. And now we also got the official announcement. This one's been kind of a duh thing for a while, but now it is official 100% that Brad Dourif, who voiced Chucky in the original series of movies, is going to be coming back for this TV series that is the continuation of the movies that he already voiced. So it was like, well, yeah, of course. And it's the same production staff and so on and so forth. They're all buddies. Sure. Why wouldn't that be the thing? No word as to whether or not Mark Hamill will be returning for any future movies for the Chucky stuff. But, I mean, all the fans are really interested in the continuation of the existing series, not the reboot of the... It's ridiculous, and we're moving on. Oh, wait, I almost forgot for streaming, because I put it in the wrong place in my notes, so I got to fix it before I post. But also in streaming, we have a DC Universe update. The DC Universe app is no longer doing yearly subscriptions. That's right. You can only now sign up for, I think it's like $7.99 a month is the only option for DC Universe. So it just kind of solidifies or is a quasi-confirmation for all the rumors that DC Universe is going slowly the way of the buffalo, and we're only going to have HBO Max for Warner Brothers Entertainment, which kind of makes sense. Just make DC Universe a section of the app, because that app is broken into sections already. So that, yeah, just do that. Why didn't you do that to begin with? You're stupid. We're moving on. Let's get into now some movies. And like I said, we've got follow-ups, we've got Comic-Con, and then we've got actual news. So first and foremost, we have follow-ups, and we actually have a bunch of follow-ups. Spider-Man 3, the still as yet untitled movie that apparently is supposed to be done with production by February of next year, just got pushed back its release date to December 17th of 2021, which was Avatar's old spot, and we're going to get to that in a second. So that was pushed back. Top Gun Maverick was also pushed back to July 2nd of 2021. A Quiet Place 2 was pushed back to April 23rd of 2021. Everything's getting way pushed back at this point. We have Mulan is another one of those that's been delayed indefinitely, so there is no new release date yet for the live-action Mulan movie. Star Wars, we had three unnamed movies that were a little far out on the horizon. They all got pushed back a year. So now, instead of them being released in 2022, 24, and 26, it's 2023, 25, and 27. Avatar, we have pushed back by a year for all five of the sequels, four sequels, whatever it was. So now they're all coming out in December. It's just they're going 2022, 24, 26, and 28. So we have kind of sort of dates. I mean, it's going to be December. We just don't know the exact date except for the first one. I believe that one was December 16th, if memory serves, because I didn't write down the exact date, because I take amazing notes. And then our final follow-up is Bill and Ted 3 has not been pushed, but well, technically it has been pushed back, but only by a couple of days, and that's because they've changed the format that it's going to be released on. So instead of it going to theaters, which it still technically is going to be in theaters, just whenever theaters decide they're going to open, now it is going to be released on video on demand on September 1st. So we will be able to stream it in our homes before we see it in the theaters. I'm super excited about it, and I'm super happy that they didn't move it back too far, just a couple of days. So that is what we have there. Next, we have Comic-Con at Home, and there's really only one thing up until this point that was super relevant as far as movies go from Comic-Con at Home, because I would imagine they're waiting for today and tomorrow to do all of the big stuff. But that is New Mutants. We got finally a new trailer. It's been like 2 years, hasn't it? We finally got a new trailer. Again, haven't watched it. You can find a link to it in the show notes. I am going to try and do a reaction video because that's what I do sometimes. So that is all of the things. Now let's get into the actual news. And the first piece of actual news is technically a follow-up, but it was like, this one was brought to light by a listener, so I'm going to set this one aside. So thank you, Pumpkin King, because you were the one that kind of brought this to my attention. I had heard rumors that I didn't cover on the show because I'm not a big Conjuring fan. That's right, we're talking about The Conjuring. Conjuring 3 has been pushed back to June 4th of 2021. It was again rumored to be getting a move, and now it is 100% official. It has been moved to 2021. So thank you again, Pumpkin King, for your illumination on the subject. Next, we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion, and this one's not getting pushed back, but this one's kind of just a sign of the times, because we have Jeff Goldblum talking to, I believe it was Entertainment Tonight. Yes, Entertainment Tonight, talking about what they're doing for COVID precautions. And he said they have a document that is 109 pages long for all of the protocols dealing with COVID. So just very interesting. They're playing it very, very safe, and I cannot blame them for that. But yes, it's definitely a sign of the times. It's a lot of precautions. 109 pages. Next is an announcement that I think technically happened before the Comic-Con at Home panel, but there is a Comic-Con at Home panel for this as well. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are blessing us with another comedy horror movie called Truth Seekers. It's a supernatural comedy horror that also includes Malcolm McDowell. So yes, and thank you. I feel like there's a trailer linked into the show notes. There is also a panel that they did at Comic-Con at Home. I'll see if I can find the link for that and link it also in the show notes, but just freaking awesome. And then our final piece of news is total cringe worthy. To the Extreme is a biopic based on Vanilla Ice that is being made. Yes, that's right, but that is not all of the news we have surrounding this. We just got word that James Franco has been cast to play Rob Van Winkle, aka Vanilla Ice. What? Now let's talk gaming and tech, and we got the Microsoft E3 event. It was only about an hour long, the actual event itself, and we got really the only things that I was super concerned with from it. I mean, there's a list of games that they showed, and they showed off a lot of next-gen tech, and it was really cool in general, so I suggest you watch the whole thing. But we have the Halo Infinite first trailer, and we have the confirmation that Fable is coming out, and it is not a reboot, or it is not a sequel, it is a reboot. And then there's a rumor that goes around that, but we'll get to that in the rumors section. And that's really all we have in gaming and tech. Now we're talking comic books and literature. And comic books, it's all comic books. We have Comic-Con at Home stuff. We have the Image Comics panel, was definitely worth a watch, so you should go check that out. As far as other comic book news, a lot of the stuff going on at Comic-Con at Home was just, this is how you write a comic, and this is how you develop a character, and all that kind of stuff. So it was like the smaller panels, and you can watch that stuff. It's really interesting. It's really, really dry, though, and it's not really news. So, actual news, we're moving over to Stranger Things. Stranger Things is getting another prequel comic. This one is a one-shot Halloween special. Looks pretty freaking awesome. The creative team, it didn't delineate who's doing what. So, the creative team is Michael Moreci. I'm thinking it's Moreci. Todor Hristov. I'm so sorry about mispronouncing these names. Chris O'Halloran and Nate Piekos. Again, I just butchered all those names. I apologize. But Stranger Things, comic book, prequel, awesome, one shot, get it. Moving on. Next is Batman Beyond. And this is actually just kind of an update for people who haven't been reading it, but probably should, because it's really, really getting good. Dan Jurgens is doing some excellent work with expanding the Bat family in the Beyond universe. So now we have not only Terry McGinnis as Batman and then Bruce Wayne as the mentor, but we also have, I did not write her name down because I suck, we have the new Batwoman, who is Dick Grayson's daughter, so it's like Elena Grayson, I think. And then we have Damian Wayne and Goliath. Damian obviously is Bruce's actual son, not like Terry is his clone son, which is just crazy. But so we have Damian, and Goliath is the Bat Dragon, which, wow, if you didn't read Convergence, you probably should, just for that reason alone. And then we also kind of have Barbara Gordon, but that wasn't introduced. All of this stuff is really happening in issue number 45 of the current run. And the Barbara Gordon thing kind of came in a little bit earlier because she trained Dick's daughter and so on and so forth. But really, Dan Jurgens is doing a lot of stuff, and it's fantastic. If you haven't read it, go do that. Now we're talking Rumor Mill, and it's fairly short, but it's also a little crazy. So first off, we have Lando Calrissian. We have two rumors, two kind of sort of related potentially, but we don't know for sure because they're rumors. First up is Donald Glover is rumored to be looking to sign a new contract to come in, and some of the sources said he's going to do a voice for an animated series for Lando, and then some of the sources said it's just going to be a series, implying that it's going to be a live action series for Lando. So again, rumors are rumors, and a lot gets lost in the mix. So that's one half of this. The other half of this is we're also going to be seeing Billy D. Williams reprise the role as Lando Calrissian. Now, this is even muddier waters, is because it wasn't made certain, or made clear rather, if Billy D. was going to be part of the same project, i.e. just doing a voice of the future Lando, talking about his past and the adventures he had as a younger man, which would be really freaking awesome series in and of itself, or if Billy D is somehow related to a different project that is going to be on Disney Plus. That was very much up in the air, but either way, I'm on board. Now, as to the validity of either of these rumors, I feel like there is enough of a demand for content right now that even Solo is fertile ground for mining ideas. And by far, the most popular element of the Solo movie was Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. So, following that logic, it stands to reason that, yes, this is likely. I'm still about 50-50 on this, because it takes a lot for me to be convinced that a rumor is more than 50% possible. There has to be a lot more behind it, and these really don't have a whole lot behind them. So as far as Billy D, I mean, I'm going to go about the same 50-50 on Billy D. So that's what we've got for the first set of Star Wars rumors. The second set of Star Wars rumors deal very specifically with George Lucas. And apparently this is a thing that the fans want, but we've talked about how I think they're looking at history with rose-tinted glasses, because really the best two Star Wars movies George Lucas had very little to do with, aside from some production credits, and he showed up on set maybe a week worth of time for both Empire and Return. So it's kind of hard for me to say that this is good if this is true. So what are the rumors? I'm getting ahead of myself, right? So the rumors around George Lucas and Star Wars are that Disney wants George Lucas to come back and lead Lucasfilm, at least for a little while. And so there's a couple of implications there. That means Kathleen Kennedy is out as the head of Lucasfilm, which we've been talking about for a long time in the rumor section. That's definitely been a rumor that's been going around for quite some time, since the Last Jedi. Yeah, since The Last Jedi. So that I feel like there's some validity there. I can't imagine she's going to stick around too much longer with all of the hate she's been getting. So there is that. But then George Lucas has 4 points that he needs. That these are 4 conditions that he will not even consider coming back unless these 4 things happen, and they are non-negotiable according to the rumors. So the first is he gets to make his sequel trilogy. So we will get to see his full vision for the 9 movies get made if this is true. Second condition is he has full creative power, and he decides when he hands it off. And he also decides who he hands it off to. So that's condition number 2. Condition number 3 is Kathleen Kennedy is no longer part of Lucasfilm, which again is kind of already happening according to most of the rumors, and really there's no reason to believe otherwise. And then condition number 4 is that Disney shall agree to never mess with the original trilogy, leaving it untouched. Exactly what that means, I'm not entirely sure, because he likes to screw with his original trilogy, and Disney hasn't really much. Like, Yeah, sure, they've added a couple of peripheral movies to the original trilogy, but honestly, I feel like Rogue One enhances that, and Solo is just kind of a side quest. So, yeah. So as to the validity of this, considering the source, we're already down below 50%, just because it's from a quasi-reliable source, but I definitely have more reliable sources. So potentially that's hitting it for a couple of points there. And the fact that Lucas doesn't ever have to work again kind of knocks this one down a little bit, and has also said he's not going to make Star Wars movies again. Also knocks this down a little bit. Now, has he changed his mind? It's entirely possible. I'm giving this one probably about a 30 to 35% chance of likelihood that it is for real. As far as the whole bit is concerned, as far as the Kathleen Kennedy stuff, that's honestly like 70%. I'm 70% certain that that's going to be the thing. So that's where we're at with that. Next, we're talking about Obi-Wan, still in Star Wars. Obi-Wan. New Disney Plus series is rumored to have Emilia Clarke. We know the series is happening. We know Emilia Clarke is technically part of Star Wars canon now, and this rumor says she's going to be somehow a part of the Obi-Wan series as Kira. Sure. This one seems very far out there. I'm going about 30% on this one. Just seems like Emilia Clarke, while she does have some TV in her history, it seems more likely that she's moved on to other projects, considering the likelihood that Solo's not going to be getting a proper sequel movie. We're just going to be getting continuations of that story through other mediums. So we're probably about 30% likelihood that that's legit. I believe that is all we have for Star Wars rumors. So now let's talk Flashpoint. New rumor about the Flashpoint movie suggests that we're not going to be seeing the Atlantean and Amazon war that is so pivotal to the comic book story. So, we've heard a lot about this from Muschietti, the director, saying that it's not going to be the Flashpoint you're expecting. So, yeah, sure. I'm going to say this one's probably about 65% likely. Like I said, I have to hear it from the director to some degree in order to even get it above 50. Next is Avatar, not the Blue People movie, but the anime, manga, that whole franchise, Last Airbender stuff. So Legend of Korra is the next series. We know this. This is not news. This is not even a rumor. The rumor is Legend of Korra is going to be getting 3 seasons and only 3 seasons in live action over on Netflix. Who knows? It sounds about right. That seems to be the way Netflix goes. So that could just be somebody throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. 50-50, sure. That's sure. Next, we're talking about Sword. The rumored series is now getting rumors of its own because it hasn't even been confirmed as a series yet, but rumor has it that this is going to be our introduction to Beast from the X-Men, is the Sword series, which will also be one of, if not the first introductions to any of the mutants from the X-Men universe. So that will be pretty awesome if it's true. I don't know. I have no points. I have no reference points for this, so it's hard for me to give it anything more than like a 35-40% likelihood, but it's potentially a thing, sure. Next, we have a gaming rumor, and that is Fable. Fable was just announced at the Microsoft event, and so we know it's happening, but the rumor about the game is that it's going to be an MMO and not just a regular RPG. I don't know this source. This is a newer source for me, so I can't give it too much credibility, but still, it would make sense. That is kind of the way of the future, so we're going 30% on that one as well, and then we're looking at the final rumor, and this one also has to do with Netflix. Wu Assassins, which is a freaking interesting show. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch season 1. But Wu Assassins over on Netflix is rumored to be getting a second season, approximately a year after the first season was put up on Netflix, and just interesting. It did get a fair amount of views from what I understand, so we're going 50-50 on this one, and that is your rumor mill. That's also your episode, guys. I got to beat the battery. So what did I miss? Let's talk about that in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to talk about in the next one. If you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net, or Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. If you want to support the channel a little more directly. If you're falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, then click or tap 1 or 2 boxes right there below my face. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, do all the things. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. And before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here. Oh. Ah.